Maureen, and welcome to My Crochet Story. Here I am going to show you my progress on some of my granny square projects and to kind of give you a sneak peek of how things are coming together. Because as many of you know, I have been working on this sunflower project. I think I've decided that it is going to be a bag. I have been working on it steadily this week, and I had a few faux pas, but before I get into all that, let me say thank you to all of you that are here watching this. I greatly appreciate your time, and you know, it's always fun to see new granny squares and how they actually work up. They always look perfect in the book, you know, but whenever you're working with them actually, sometimes they can give you a little hiccup. Sometimes they can be challenging, which I will share with you in my other set of granny squares that I'm looking at. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for popping in here to see this video. If this is your first time here, welcome into you as well. I do hope that you'll stay and see all that I have done with these granny squares, and possibly it'll inspire you to work with some granny squares and come up with some projects of your own. The only other thing I ask of you newbies is to be sure and hit the like button. In other words, leave me a little DNA. And please, as well, leave a comment, all of you, down in the description box, because I love knowing who it is that stopped by to see my content. The only other thing I ask is those of you that are here for the first time, please take an extra moment, go and look at all the other content, and I hope that you will find something that you like that will lead you to hit that little subscribe button down there in the corner. Then look for the bell with those little hugs on the side, because it'll let you know every time I upload some content. Speaking of content, let me remind you, please consider sharing out this video to your family and friends, because we all grew up knowing and loving granny squares. Alrighty, so I told you when I first started on this and I decided to put the 4 squares together that I was going to make a bag, and I am. So I finally got the back of it finished. I was correct. I had been using the wrong needle. Let's see. I haven't blocked it quite yet because still just a little bit more that I need to do, but she is ready. She is the same size as the back here. There you go. Now, as I said, nothing's been blocked, but I did count my stitches and I did get the proper number of rows here, so that there should be ready to go together. And this was my little faux pas. So I started out with a much wider band. In fact, there she is. This band that I finally decided on only measures a little over 4 inches, about 4 1/4. Well, at first I had gone with a 6-inch band. Let me put it up here. All right, out to here. I didn't like it. It made it look bulky on the sides and on the bottom. I even tried changing it from a double crochet to a half double crochet. I still did not like it. So what I went back and did was reduce the number of stitches, came up with about a 4 inch. Of course, like I said, it's a little bit over 4 inch, but that's okay. And I already have my stitch markers that are going to mark my bottom and then come up the sides. Now, I had also planned on crocheting to where the handle, you know, scooped all the way across the top. But I got to thinking that, you know, I just don't like the idea of, because I wanted it to be long enough, you know, to go over my shoulder. So I thought of ways that I could bring it in on each side, make a little bit thinner band, because I definitely don't want that hanging off my shoulder. But then I got to worrying with, what if I decide to throw a water bottle in there? Well, we all know water bottles are heavy. And I don't know about your wallet, but my wallet carries my life in it, except for my phone. And that puppy is heavy, especially if you get more than just a few coins in the coin section. That would be heavy. A bottle of water, maybe a package of tissues, and of course you just need all other little things like a tube of lipstick or an extra little pocket size purse, you know, of smell 'em that you like to squirt on. Hand lotion, I mean, just all sorts of little things like that. So what I have decided is I'm going to go handle shopping and make it give it more of a sturdy strap that I can attach with a little bit more security as far as I'm concerned, instead of having that stretch where it won't cause the bag to sag so much. So I'm still kind of playing with that, but I am ready to get these items here stitched together. I do have my lining here. I'm sorry I didn't pick it up and bring it over here to show it to you, but I did settle on a burlap style inside. It's burlap material, but it's burlap woven with something a little bit softer. I'm not going to say cotton, it might be nylon, but it's not the texture that you normally find on just plain burlap. Plus it's got a nice print on it that I chose that will go with this, and I'm kind of holding off showing that to you simply because you know, things always look different whenever you start putting them together, so I don't want to totally commit to that particular pattern, but I'm sure am hoping that it's going to work, and I hope that it'll be finished to show you at least those pieces by tomorrow. Now, last week or a couple of weeks ago, I showed you one of the new Granny Square books that I purchased, Granny Square FLAIR, and I really liked it because not only are all the granny squares and their well, the squares that are shown here are made up in a vintage color that I really like, but it also gives you some options down here in the bottom as to some other granny squares that they crocheted up, which I always think is really nice. Now let me tell you something else that I like about this. Remember that I also bought the Siren Atlas granny square, and if you'll look at this granny square right down here in the bottom, do you notice anything? Those are the colors that are chosen for that blanket, or for many of the squares that they have in that blanket. And so I thought, wow, I now have 2 books of granny squares that I can take and mix and match and have lots more squares that I can put together. But let me show you the ones that I have already created. Let's see. I want to make sure that I tag them, and I bet I didn't. Oh, did I tag that one? I think so. Bismarck. I haven't done that one yet. Alrighty. I have them here on my you know, mat to stretch them out with. Now, I will tell you, I did do a small boo-boo. On this particular one here, I used the wrong hook. I used a J hook instead of an I hook, which is what I've been using on the others. So this one is a little bit bigger. So I've decided that I have 2 options. I can increase the number of stitches around by putting on 1 extra crochet border of single crochets to make them all be approximately the same size, or I can just hold on to this one and use it in another granny square setup. I haven't quite made up my mind yet what I'm going to do, but I'm definitely not going to rip it out. I mean, it's very pretty, don't you think? I really like this one. And it fits kind of in the theme of things of what I'm going to do with all these granny squares that I have chosen to make up. So there's the first one. And I think you're going to be able to see quite a bit of difference. I'll just see if I can put them up there and you can see. See, look at there. But I do think that just one whole row of single crochets will go ahead and bring these other granny squares up to size. There's another one. Oh, this has got something on it. What is that? Okay. Now this is another one that I do think I used the wrong hook again. Let me see. Because the, yeah, I bet it did. And I say that just because when I was trying to block it, when I was laying it out, yes, I did. Looky there. So I guess that's what I'm going to have to do, is I'm going to have to, if I want to use these in the same project that I'm thinking on, I'm going to have to put a single crochet around each one of them. There's the next one. Now these have not been officially blocked. I just put them on there to keep them from kind of curling up on the edges, and you know how granny squares get when they're left to their own devices. Come here. Okay. And then there's the last one I have so far out of this book. Now I'm wanting to make them in this beautiful cream color that I got from Hobby Lobby. It's the Crafter's Secret, and it's what it's called. It's called cream. I don't know why, guys, but I'm always drawn to creams, ivory, ecru even, maybe an extremely light shade of brown, or the taupes, you know, that kind of thing, when I'm thinking of granny squares. And I don't know why, especially these that have different designs other than the traditional granny square that we all grew up with, or at least that my generation and before me and maybe a few after me grew up with. But I really have decided that for right now anyway, and maybe it's because it's starting to get a little warm here in Florida, so maybe I'm thinking of lighter colors, you know, because lighter colors make you feel a little cooler. I don't know why. But anyway, that's all I've done with my week as far as playing with granny squares. I do hope to get a few more done, and then to kind of start deciding if I want to use these to make just a throw, or maybe a top for my bed, you know, just the top, just something to throw over it, not like a quilt or anything like that, and really not so much to use, but just to put on the top of the bed to give it just a nice welcoming look whenever you walk into the room. That's kind of where I'm going with it, but not real sure yet. Hopefully I'll have more of an idea of what I want to do by next week. So that's all I have as far as my journey in the granny squares are concerned. Oh, I did want to tell you that if you remember when I did all those cutesy little animals on granny squares with the appliques or the crocheted inserts of the animals, the farm animals that I did, I do think that I am going to take them and put them into a little book. I do need to crochet up one more, I think, in order to finish out the book, you know, so that so it's more inviting to a little one. But anyway, that will definitely be finished and ready for you to look at next week. So that's all I have for you today. I hope that you stay till the end here so that I can remind you to be sure and leave your thumbprint. Leave me a comment so I can say howdy back to you, and please consider sharing it out. And always remember, folks, be the light out there in the darkness for someone today, because you never know. Could be your light that they need to see. Thank you again so much for being here. I loves you. Bye.